Imagine a universe where your favorite characters and stories take a turn that leaves you more perplexed than excited. This is a reality many fans face with Dragon Ball GT, a series that promised to continue the legacy of one of the most iconic anime franchises of all time, but ended up dividing its fan base entirely. Today, we're delving into this enigmatic chapter in the Dragon Ball saga. In this video, why everyone hates Dragon Ball GT. We'll explore the key elements that contributed to its widespread criticism, from its divergent story arcs and character transformations, to the departure from the original tone and spirit that made Dragon Ball a phenomenon. Join me as we unravel the mystery behind the controversy surrounding Dragon Ball's most infamous series, and understand why this series stands the test of time even today. The Dragon Ball series, a cornerstone in the anime world, began its journey in 1984 as a manga created by the late Akira Toriyama. It quickly evolved into an animated series, capturing hearts with its unique blend of martial arts action, vibrant characters, and a story that combined humor, action, and emotion. The series follows the adventures of Son Goku from his childhood through his adulthood as he trains in the martial arts and explores the world in search of the 7 mystical orbs known as the Dragon Balls. Each ball, when gathered, summons a dragon capable of granting any wish. The series' popularity skyrocketed, not just in Japan, but globally, spawning multiple sequels including Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, each introducing new depths to its characters and universe, and setting new benchmarks in the anime genre. Dragon Ball GT, introduced in 1996, was a sequel to the immensely successful DBZ. Unlike its predecessors, GT was not based on Toriyama's original manga, but was created as an anime original story. It aimed to blend the adventure and exploration elements of the original Dragon Ball with the intense combat of Dragon Ball Z. Set years after the end of DBZ, GT takes a turn with Goku being transformed back into a kid and embarking on a quest for the Black Star Dragon Balls, which scatter across the universe. Fans held high expectations for Dragon Ball GT. After the heights reached by Dragon Ball Z, which had set new standards for action and storytelling in anime, there was an anticipation for GT to push beyond those boundaries. Viewers expected GT to continue this legacy, expanding upon the Dragon Ball universe while staying true to the characters and themes beloved by fans everywhere. The excitement was at an all-time high as audiences geared up for another thrilling ride through the Dragon Ball cosmos. However, as we'll explore, the reality of what GT delivered would stir a different set of emotions, making a significant departure from what fans had come to adore about the series. One of the most significant points of contention in Dragon Ball GT lays in its approach to character development. Fans of the series were accustomed to the rich and evolving backstories of characters in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. However, GT's character arcs often felt undercooked. Key characters from previous series were sidelined or not given the depth they deserved. For instance, fan favorites like Piccolo and Vegeta received limited screen time and development, disappointing many fans. The transformation of Goku back into a child was also annoying for a lot of viewers. It was intended as a nod to the original Dragon Ball's lighter tone, but it instead alienated fans who had grown with the character's adult form in Dragon Ball Z. This regression in Goku's character was symbolic of a broader trend in GT, where character growth was often sacrificed for plot devices. Speaking of the plot, Dragon Ball GT's storyline faced its share of criticism. Unlike the manga-based narrative of its predecessors, GT's story arcs were criticized for a lack of coherence and emotional depth. The introduction of the Black Star Dragon Balls and consequent universal survival arc felt forced to some, lacking the organic build-up that was a hallmark of the original series. Furthermore, the pacing of the story was uneven. Some arcs were rushed while others dragged on with filler episodes that contributed little to the overall narrative. The inconsistency in this pace disrupted the flow of the story, making it harder for viewers to stay committed to watching it. In terms of animation and art style, Dragon Ball GT also marked a departure from its predecessors. While the series did maintain a level of quality in animation, some fans felt it lacked the vibrancy and dynamic flair of Dragon Ball Z. The character designs underwent changes that were not universally well received, with some characters appearing overly stylized compared to their earlier depictions. Filler episodes and pacing were additional pain points. Unlike DBZ, where filler episodes sometimes added depth to the story or characters, GT's fillers were often seen as unnecessary diversions, slowing down the story's A-plot. These episodes contributed to even being cut altogether for about the first 25 episodes when GT came to America, because they were just that poorly received. While some appreciated the attempt to return to the adventure style of the original Dragon Ball, many longtime fans expressed disappointment on forums and reviews. Sentiment was that Dragon Ball GT had strayed too far from what made the franchise great: compelling character arcs, a gripping plot, and a balance of action and storytelling. This shift led to a divide in the fan base, with GT often being seen as the black sheep of the Dragon Ball family. While GT has faced its fair share of criticism, it's important to acknowledge that there are some fans who have a completely different outlook on the series. These fans argue that GT brought in a fresh perspective to the Dragon Ball universe, especially after the intense and often serious tone of DBZ. They appreciated the series for its attempt to return to the adventurous spirit of the original Dragon Ball, with its emphasis on exploration and discovery. Supporters of GT also pointed out that the series introduced some interesting concepts and characters, like the Shadow Dragons, which provided a unique twist to the Dragon Ball mythology, and Super Saiyan 4, which, in my opinion, is the best Super Saiyan transformation that's ever been invented. Better yet, some fans defend the changes in character design and animation style, considering them a natural evolution of the series. They argue that every series in the Dragon Ball saga has its own distinct feel and vibe, and GT was no different in this regard. These fans often appreciate the series for what it was, rather than comparing it too closely with its predecessors or those that came after it, such as Dragon Ball Super. Ultimately, whether one loves or dislikes Dragon Ball GT, it's clear that the series has left a lasting impression. It's a reminder of the varied tastes and expectations of anime fans and the challenges of continuing a beloved franchise. In conclusion, Dragon Ball GT's journey through the Dragon Ball universe has been a complex and divisive one. From a personal standpoint, while I do love some of the things that Dragon Ball GT attempted, and it will always have a special place in my heart because I saw it when I was a kid, so that nostalgia bait is hitting me, I can't ignore the fact that this probably was the weakest Dragon Ball series. With that said, thanks for watching. Don't forget to smack the like button, subscribe, and until next time, peace.